Hey everyone, and welcome back to another session of how to build in No Man's Sky. Today I would like to show you how you can build the low orbit base with the Frontiers update. But before we jump into the practical part of this, let's go through some theory. Let's take this planet. The planet itself has an atmosphere, or at least a protective bubble. That means once you go beyond that atmosphere, beyond that bubble, you will start losing life support very quickly. And then we have the planet's build limit. This is not the same as the atmosphere or the protective bubble. You can go beyond that build limit and still be inside that protective bubble. So what does that build limit mean? It means that you can still build beyond that point, beyond the planet's build limit, but once you save and reload, the parts that you have built beyond that limit will become hidden and invisible for you. The parts are still there. That means they are counting towards your upload limit and to your overall building limit. So we want to stay under that building limit at all costs. In my previous tutorials, I showed you how to get to that building limit using different techniques, either using the stairs, the walls or the floors. After doing some research and tests, it seems that the building limit has not changed and is still the same as before the update. But there is a new technique we can do now since the Frontiers update. I already scanned for an electrical hotspot nearby here, so that when I'm building up, I do have my power hotspot up there as well. The electromagnetic field is not a sphere, it is a cylinder. That means that your power, your hotspot, will also be accessible in your low orbit base. Alright, and now we can place our base computer, and that will be our first base computer, the foundation of how we start to get to our low orbit base. Let's now claim the base. And once we have claimed our base, we can also give it a name. Let's call it base 1. Alright, now that our base has been claimed, we can now start with building. So the first thing we're going to do is we build a wall here right at the side of the water level. So just go to your wall, place it here on the water level and just simply place it. Then we go back to our menu and now we go and select the ladder. Now, with the ladder in hand, we go to the wall and we also switch to our wires. Just press the triangle for toggle wiring. I think it's Q on PC. So go to the wall and just position that connector at the water level as you can see here. And once that is in place, we just wire glitch from our wire to our ladder. For this to work, we need to make sure that the ladder is horizontal. So not angled, not straight up, it has to be horizontal. Now that is done. Let's go and do one more thing, and that is manual saving. So let's place the save beacon right here, do the manual save, and that will be the only manual save we'll be doing until we are sure our low orbit base is done properly. So from now on, we will not be doing any more manual saves. The only saves we will be doing is either uploading or claiming your base computer or jumping in and out your ship to do an autosave. This is the best way to protect yourself against any mistakes you might make in the future. Alright, now we go to our ladder and we just jump on top of the ladder and we just try to climb the ladder. Just normally you can press the button or you can also just try to walk off it and it should automatically jump into climbing. Now, because the ladder has been placed horizontally, the game is not really sure anymore what happens there. So you're starting to climb this invisible ladder. What you need to do is you need to keep climbing this invisible ladder for 13 minutes. Now, while you're thinking like, hey, that's a long time, if you compare this with the previous techniques, like using the stairs or the floors or the walls, and then jetpacking along them, then having to build everything on top, then going back down, deleting all the parts, the collection of resources, all these kind of things, then the time you have been spending on climbing is actually less than all the previous summed up techniques. Hey, if you feel like I don't want to do this for 30 minutes, then you have still the other techniques. I would say it's the same amount of time you're going to be spending on. You can always either block your joystick or use a rubber band, or you can also use a macro on your PC that keeps you climbing for 13 minutes. There's a few tricks for that, but I believe this is now the easiest way to start off your low orbit base. Alright, we have now climbed for 13 minutes exactly. This is where we need to be. So let's go into the building menu and select our base computer. Now, before we do that, you can see on top here that there are no building parts except for these two little tabs here. That means that we no longer have access to our building computer below. That means we are completely out of this build bubble. So let's select the base computer, go into the build camera and also free placement, and place the base computer near your character. Alright, let's go back into our menu, select the portable refiner. You can of course use other building parts like the save point, but I like to use the personal refiner because it has a little bit more surface to stand on. And we will be doing the same. We'll just free place it, build camera on, and place that personal refiner behind your base computer. Now that it's been placed, you need to be very careful. We will now jetpack and land our character on top of the personal refiner. Okay, so now let's claim the base computer. As you can see, there is no claim on the base, so we can just claim it. That means we are far enough from the base computer on the planet's surface. And now go back into the building menu, select the landing pad, and let's just go and build camera again in free mode and place the landing pad nearby our base computer. And now we can call in the ship so that we can jump in and out and do another save. Ooh. So just jump in and out, that will save the game, and then we can reload the game and see if everything is still here. And everything is still here. The landing pad is still here, the portable refiner and the base computer all are still visible. That means we are still underneath the base limit. So that means we can go and jump down and remove the base computer that we placed on the planet's surface. Deleting the base here should remove only 3 parts. That means your wall, the ladder that you placed, and the base computer itself. Now, what to do if you're on a planet that doesn't have any water? I mean, it is the water level we are using to measure to our planet's limit. In theory, if you are on a planet without water and you stand in a valley, you should be below water level. That means that if you use the 13-minute technique, you should still be under the planet's limit. But that is not an exact science. So I would advise that if you do this on a planet without water, to use a 12-minute distance. Once you reach the 12 minutes, you build a base computer, claim it, build a landing pad, and then save and reload. And check if the parts are still there. If your building parts are still there after the reload, it means you are still within the limit. 12 minutes is quite a distance from the planet's surface, and you should be safe to build anything there. But of course, if you want to test and see if you can go any higher, then I would advise you to do a manual save right there, then build some building parts up, save and reload in your ship, and see if any parts disappear. If none of them disappear, you can continue building up and see how high you can get. Once you see your parts disappear, count the parts you have raised, go back to your manual save, reload that manual save, and then build that amount of parts up without having any parts hidden into the sky. Alright, and this is what I can share with you about a low orbit basis for now. I hope this tutorial was informative for you, and you will be using this in your next low orbit base project. As usual, if you have any suggestions or questions, drop them in the comments or join our Discord. If you like this video, don't forget to press that thumbs up, and if any of the techniques I used today in this tutorial are not clear to you, be sure to check out the video popping on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. This was Beeblebum. Goodbye for now.